Going live, you say? On time, you
live.
say?
Live. I hope that's a bit of a better light.
Now, we haven't had the light on for the last 3-4 weeks, but today in the UK it has been thunderstorm. So it'll be bright sunshine for a little bit, then it's been bucketing with rain, hailstones, thunder, lightning, the lot, and then it goes back to bright sunshine for a short period, then rain straight away.
You're not wrong, but I didn't open the curtains today. I should have opened the thing, because normally I've got the two of these open.
Yeah, let me just add a little bit of light.
You see.
You do say that actually. There's you can't see it from here, but there's a big thick black cloud just coming up.
My bestie works in London, and she called me and she goes, "Oh my god, it's like bucketing down." It wasn't here; it had been raining, but there was no like loads of rain.
It was.
No, that was earlier when she called me. There was no rain, and then all of a sudden, about an hour ago, it was like so much rain. I was like, "Oh my god!" And you could hear the thunder and everything. But now it's cleared up.
Yeah, it had. Well, I say that it's a lot of black cloud over there.
Yeah, but I think it might. Do you reckon? I reckon it might be heading in that direction. I don't think it's heading in this direction, only because I haven't heard any thunder.
Anyway, there you are. So how are you guys? I hope everybody is well. It's Tuesday. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Not too long now to our nice long, well, I say we've got this weekend to go, but then we've got the long big weekend. If you're in the UK, you've got the Jubilee coming up. That's next Thursday, Friday, off of work, hopefully, for those of you who are off. And then the weekends.
So does anybody have any plans?
So we are thinking of doing a little something just to feed the family, aren't we? I'm going to move that around a little bit because I'm right at the corner.
Oh, I see. So now what?
Oh no, you're not. You've just had to move in to try and prove a point. Oh look, I'm cut off now. She says as she leans into me. Yeah. So has anybody got any plans? Are they looking forward to it? We have mentioned about plans for the Jubilee before.
Yeah.
But you might be doing some baking.
I might be doing some baking. I need to get a few more ingredients because I didn't do the practice.
No.
So I don't know how it's gonna.
Well, that will be the practice.
I don't know how it's gonna pan out. So you get me. I'm just a bit nervous. But yeah, I think I'll give it a go.
So for Bake Off fans as well, if you are into your baking, today is the first day of Bake Off the Professionals. So as you know, they've got Ray.
Hey, Ray.
Oh, it's your birthday on Sunday.
Wow.
Oh, happy birthday. What you got planned? Are you guys going out anywhere? Are you doing your customary curry? Or are you going to go out somewhere else? I say customary curry because I know you do like to go out for a curry when it's a special event.
And I wanted to say happy birthday for Sunday.
So happy birthday to Ray. Celebrating her big 25 for Sunday. So we'll all be glad to see, or hope you have a really, really nice time. Are you going to spend it in Birmingham or are you going to take a little trip out?
Ooh.
Are you doing a little trip anywhere? We've asked about 20 questions there, so Ray was going, oh, God's sake, just let me respond.
Do you know, I think it's always nice to either do nothing on your birthday, like if you're working, have the day off and relax, and all of that type of stuff, or it's nice to do something different for your birthday. So I think either or is quite nice. Do you know what I mean? And if somebody's going to spoil you on your birthday, that's even better.
Oh, wow. Oh, I wish, Mark, I will be 48.
Ooh.
You are 1 year older than me.
So that's not too bad. You're young, my dear. Young.
Yeah.
Young.
I don't. Do you know what? It's one of those things, actually. I do. Sometimes I think, do I feel young? I think because I'm always tired all the time, and I do forget my age sometimes. I do like to try and do lots of exercise and get around and do things. So I sometimes do forget that, hang on a minute, you cannot run faster than that 17-year-old who's going around.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a feeling of old. I think it's a perception of like how other people see you. Does that make sense? Rather than feeling old. So like, when I was in my 30s or in my 20s, I always felt, people look at me older than when you're sort of like a teenager. So I think you take on other people's perceptions. And I remember I was about 15 and my mum said, well, what's your idea of old? And I said 21. Right. So in my mind, any like 21.
To be 21.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Was old. And I remember I went to. I was about to say drama school. I didn't go. I was in a performing arts course. I was on a performing arts course, and Billie Piper had come out, and I think she must have been about 13 or 14. You know, she done if you want to, and I was in my 20s at the time, and I just thought, oh my god, am I too old to be doing this acting and all of this? I thought you had to start really young because I was seeing all these kids on TV. And I just felt that I was really old. And I think it's what you think other people think of you rather than how you feel, if that makes sense.
So Ray said, I'm thinking about doing on the day. Ooh. As it's a Sunday, I've been looking for a nice country pub to have a roast, maybe. Now, that's interesting, actually. Now, funny you should say that, but I actually chose what I was going to do on the day for my birthday. That's what I decided to do, didn't I? Pretty much, because Kelly had been badgering me for weeks. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want? But when you're
months.
But when you're busy, which I'm busy at work and course and what had you, it's very difficult to think. I think so. I'll set some side of time for that. But you've got so many other things going on. It creeps up on you so quickly. I mean, like I thought in March, I thought I got ages. I'll worry about that in April. I've got ages. I'll worry about that towards the end of April. I'll worry about the beginning of May. I still got some time. But then. Before you know it, you say, "Oh my God, it's in 2-3 days' time." So it does creep up on you quite quickly. But you can actually find some nice things there. But do try. My recommendation would be, because yours is a Sunday, it is a day when everybody is pretty much off. So might be worth you trying to book something.
Because I was trying to plan. I think I must have asked you in January. What you
That's
wanted.
how organised Kelly is.
Yeah, because in my mind, I'm thinking if you need to book somewhere that's quite popular or something like that, then you need to book far enough in advance that you have a space to do whatever it will. Because I didn't know what you want to do, what you wanted to do. So you could have said something, I don't know, and I was thinking, and I'd be thinking, because you could have said, I want to go for a weekend away or something like that, and then I would have had to have thought, right, where, what are we going to do, what we're going to see, yada yada yada. So I try to be very, very organised, but with Mark, it's impossible.
I'm really bad. It's just one of those things, because I've got so much on. I always just leave it to the last minute. And Ray said the same, that my hubby has been the same for weeks now. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And I'm just not sure yet. And I know, honestly, Ray, because you're the same as me, it is annoying for the organizer if you leave it to the last minute.
Because then in the end, you just leave it to the last minute, and then the other person's disappointed that nothing was planned. And I'm thinking, but hang on a second. I would to plan.
Naha,
hey Naha,
are you ready for the?
Or have you had it done?
Not yet. It's in June. She's having it done.
It's
not yet. I have to go soon, but because I need to do revision.
Yeah.
Oh, good. What revision are you doing?
My nephew's been doing revision.
That's all right. I'm glad you could join us as well.
Yeah, just to say hi.
Hello. If I can help you revise, I will. But yeah, what was I going to say? But it's about the birthdays. But yeah, I know how it is, Ray. But just for you, Kelly. How old is your nephew?
He's 14.
So yeah, he's got his GCSEs coming up.
Yeah, he's doing his mocks. I wanted to say SATs. He's doing all the, because they have, like, we only had one set of mocks when I was at school, but they've got something like 4.
Oh, wow.
4 sets of mocks before it's just like,
Now it's the same.
Yeah, it's crazy, because I think to myself, well, I mean, you're doing all these mocks, right? You're going to have 4 sets of mocks. And I do feel that that's quite a lot of pressure.
I gotta say, actually, I'm very glad I did mine when I did, purely because, like I said, it does seem a lot harder now. When I did mine, you had 1 set of mocks for each subject. That they then marked it, and they thought, well, right, you're going to get a grade. Because I didn't do well in my mocks because I didn't really revise. I'd saved all my revision for the main exam, but when I did much better in obviously my exam because I revised so much.
Yeah.
But it is worth you doing it for your mocks, really, because I think they do base a lot of your predicted grades on your mocks. So it is worth you trying to get as best you can.
Yeah, I would. Do you know what? When I did my exams and stuff like that, I wasn't. I didn't feel as much pressure as what I feel children feel now. I mean, to be quite honest, I was never really, you know, I was talking to my nephew, and he said, "Oh, there's 4 top classes, and then there's 4 bottom classes." And then within the 4 top set, and then within the 4 bottom set, you could be at the top of the 4 top set, and then at the top of the 4 bottom set, or the bottom of the 4. And I just thought to myself, wow, when I was in school, there was two tops. Well, it just went down 1, 2, 3, 4, and that was it. So you were either at 1 or you were at 4. And that was that, really.
Also, no, I said my parents say that their school stuff was harder now, which I don't agree with. Do you know what? It's different things. You will have access to a lot more information. So when I was your age, the internet didn't really exist. So, well, it did, but people weren't really using it. So
there was no Google.
No, not at all. So any information took ages. You had to go to the library, you had to read dozens of books until you got the info you wanted. Now you can get it in seconds.
Yeah.
That being said, is a lot stricter the marking scheme, because they can check if you plagiarized anything or copied anything.
Yeah, so many people plagiarize
very easily now. Whereas I'm going to say, one guy I knew, I won't say his name because this is live, but he used to copy huge chunks out of books, and the teachers never spotted it. Never ever spotted it. So he used to cheat quite a bit, but you can't do that as much now.
Yeah.
So it is a bit of swings and roundabouts. So I do get it there. They're quite young, so they were at school in the 90s and early noughties.
Yeah.
I was at school in the 90s.
Yeah, we were at school in the 90s and the noughties. But the thing was, with that, they were GCSEs when we were in school hadn't, because before us it was CSE, and prior to that was O levels and O levels and A levels. No, O levels, sorry. So you had O levels, then it was CSE, and then it's GCSE. So when we got into school, it was GCSE. So but my mum was from Mauritius, so she couldn't help me with certain things. She wouldn't have been able to help me with things like English and stuff. And when she studied maths, it was a case of 2 + 2 is 4. And when they were in school, you know, they still use the cane and things like that, you know, in Mauritius and things. So if you didn't know something, you know, the cane was coming. That's how you were taught. And obviously I went to school here, so the teaching is very different. It was difficult because I didn't have anyone to ask to help me and things like that.
That is a big thing. So Nahar said, I mean, the ones we are doing are foundation, but I'm on a higher paper, so I'll find it easier. It is difficult as well. Funny enough, my cousin did A-level maths, and she went to my uncle to say, can you help me? And he took the book, looked at it, and went, I'm sorry, I cannot help you with this because it's so complicated. Sorry, going back to Ray's comment, she said, I think the problem is 5 days after will be my mum's first anniversary of her death. Oh gosh, yes. We went away to Skegness last year, but I didn't want to go away this year. Needed to be near my dad.
Right, that makes sense.
Well, do you know what, Ray? There's plenty of options you can do. I would say though, because when we did for my birthday, I took the day off work and we went into London. So that was on a Tuesday, and it was relatively quiet. I didn't have to book anything, which was quite good. But I'm just thinking for you, Sunday, especially if you want to do a roast, we always find that with the carvery, it's always booked out. So if you can, just try and book it, just purely because I wouldn't want you to be disappointed.
Yeah, and if there is a Toby carvery near you and you like that, it's still plenty of time at the moment to still book a Toby carvery on a Sunday. Nihar
just said, Mark, that little story you told me made me feel so much better. Well, I'm going to tell you even funnier story. Again, I'm not going to name the guy's name because this is a true story. But when I, hey, hello, Eve.
Hey, Eve.
When I did my GCSEs, I had a friend of mine. Now, he's gone on and done very well for himself because he wanted to get into the building trade. So he wasn't interested in doing school and he wasn't interested in doing his exams. So don't use this as a benchmark. But when we got our results, I went to see him to see how he was doing. And he said, what'd you get? And I told him my results. And I said, what did you get? And he got an E and 2 Gs. And he turned to me and he went, mine spell egg. And I don't know what, I found that hilarious because he got an E and 2 Gs. So he just said to me, he goes, yeah, mine spell egg. He was so happy with that. But anyway, there you go. So it just goes to show, but it really... You sound like you're putting the work in, which is
Yeah.
really, really good, and you will get your rewards for that. Honestly,
Yeah.
hard work will pay off eventually.
And I think they encourage revision and stuff like that. You have study halls now. Friends are going to the libraries and all of that to do revision. Like, we didn't really do that when I was growing up. Like, some people would do revision. There were some people that were just naturally clever. I had to work at
Oh
it.
no, that's really
I wasn't,
annoying.
that good at school and stuff like that. So I had to just work at it a little bit more than anybody else. I didn't really apply myself to be, but when I did, I was good. But a lot of the time, to be quite honest, I didn't get nervous at exams and all
No.
of that because I wasn't really.
I think it's one of those things. I had friends of mine as well. They were like that as well. They could just read something once, and it would just go in there straight away. For me, I did well at school, but I just think to myself, it's one of those things that I had to study that bit harder to let it sink in. So never let that put you off.
I was silly really because my memory was quite good. It's not as good now.
Mine's terrible.
My memory when I was younger is excellent. So I should have applied myself a bit more, reading a bit more and all of that, because obviously, as when we did performing, we had to learn lines and things like that. So to absorb things, and even when we had to do the driving written test and things like that, you had to learn certain answers, and I was pretty good at learning things, so I should have taken more advantage, but I didn't. I was just like,
Sahinas, hello.
Hey,
how are
Sahinas.
you? Sorry, we got a bit of a lag. I didn't spot your thing.
Yeah, we didn't catch up. I think Ray said a couple of things.
Ray said it must be hard now as well. Yeah, so and she feels sorry for youngsters now. Wouldn't want to be at school. I do agree with you, Ray. It's very difficult. I wouldn't want. If somebody said to me, "You can have your life back and go back to school," I would no, thank you. I'll do it after I left school, but I think I wouldn't want to go back and do the studying again. But Sahinaz says, good evening, Mark and Kelly. Lots of love from Sahinaz. Always remembering you. Both lots of love. Here you are again. And lovely to see you too. And I was looking at your vermicelli custard pudding, which looked delicious. I didn't realise you could actually put vermicelli, the pasta, in a pudding. So I was just watching your video, actually, just prior to coming on here. But yeah, it looked really nice. It looked delicious. So that's another one I'm going to have to try. And you just use regular pasta in that.
Wow.
So I do just what I'm asking. So it'll be interesting to see. But I'm still hoping you'll do my ras malai. No pressure. Nahar said, my mum said that if I do well, she will get me a present. And my grandma and granddad said they will do they will give me £10.
Wow.
And so my other grandma and granddad, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
Wow. And what would you buy with the money if you do well and they give you this money? Is there anything that you've earmarked and you think, do you know what, for my hard work, now that I've got this money, this is what I'm going to buy?
Sahina said, yeah, the custard pudding is really yummy. Today I shoot a new pasta video. You must try this recipe. I will check that out when that comes out, when you've uploaded it. So that will look good. But I have checked out some of your new videos.
Neha, are you going to save the money? You're going to save the money or you're going to spend the money? That's the question.
Saving's always boring. I know. But you should, it's the right thing to do. But I always used to, whenever I got cash, I spent it immediately. Couldn't even tell you what I spent it on.
I agree, but sometimes if I want something, I save the money, if that makes sense. So if there's a bigger purchase, so like sometimes if I want to design a bag or if I want to design a pair of trainers or whatever, I wait till I've got enough money to buy said trainers or to buy said bag.
To be honest.
Oh, to be honest, what?
They're going to see, or she's not going to tell us. She's going to drag that out as well. What was I going to say? So, Ray, back to your birthday. I do think roast dinner would sound nice, actually. A nice roast. You could be close to home. And obviously, like you say, you can go out and do the roast. Is there a specific one you had in mind? I'm still like that now. If I draw out cash, it just disappears, says Ray. Do you know what? They do say if you're on a budget, drawing out cash is the best thing to do. Because if you spend on your card, it doesn't feel like you're making a transaction. It's just tapping. But if you actually spend out cash, it's much easier. Not saying that you are on a budget, but I always find that as well. If I draw out like £100, and the money's spending, you actually see that physically move and disappear. Mark, I never knew what TBH means. Yeah, I think it means to be honest.
To be honest.
Yeah, to be honest is what you see.
What did you say? I would save it for when I go out with friends. Because if I spend it all in one go, I won't have any left for going shopping with friends. That's true. That's very, very true.
And also as well, you can look quite good as you take out your thing. Yes, I'll have that.
Yes.
Yes, I'll have that. And yes, I will have that.
I remember when I was working at the video shop. I must have been I'd left school and I was in between waiting to start college. So during the summer, I was working at the video shop. It was literally 10 minutes from my house, walking. And I remember when I got my first paycheck, and I think the paycheck must have been something like £100 or whatever it was. And I remember I took my little money and I went to the shops and I bought myself a pair of dungarees, and they were £25. That was a lot of money. And I said, yep, I bought this because my mum wasn't, she didn't spend a lot of money on our clothes and things like that. If it fit us, we were getting that. So there was no, oh, I like this or I like the way that looks. She would on the odd occasion, but my mum was just very practical, very much like my grandparents, just very practical. Right, you need this, we'll get this. That's it.
I thought you were too old to know what TBH means. Oh, ouch. Oh, no, that stings. Oh, my pride. My pride.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I'm down with the kids. I've got to be honest, though. The only reason I pick a lot of this up is because people on Twitter use it a lot. And I'm sitting thinking, what the hell does that mean?
Because I WhatsApp a lot. So I know I know what all the little, what do you call them? Acronyms?
Yeah, acronyms.
Acronyms.
Somebody put IMHO, and I thought, what? In my honest opinion. But I think, oh, right, okay.
What about when I told you what KMT
Oh,
means?
yeah, I was laughing. That was so funny. So, Kelly, may I ask you something, says Sahinaz.
Please do. And I'll consider whether I will answer it.
I'm sure she will.
Yeah. Within reason, yeah. Of course, you can ask me anything.
Twitter and Facebook is for old people. Oh, my word. Now, that's really rounding into me today.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no. I don't know what I did. I've upset her now.
Yeah, that's it.
She's just going to go.
You're not on Insta, so you don't know. You're not on the gram. You don't know because you're not on the gram.
The funny thing is, I'm older than her dad.
There you go. So, yeah, I to be fair, I'm not on social media that much, I've got to say.
I see FML the other day, and I was completely stuck until my daughter told me. What is FML?
I don't know actually. I don't know if I've seen that one.
No, Mark, how old are you? I'm 47, so I am older than you. I think your dad's 42, isn't he? I said, can I say, Kelly, you have a good heart and lovely person. Also, God bless you.
Thank you.
That's
You're so
nice.
kind. Thank you. That's so lovely. I'm
really
just trying to
Thank
think.
You, Sahina.
In what sentence was F? I need
oh my
to
God,
see
he's 39. I feel really old now. I feel really, really old.
I'm just trying to think. Yes, my brother's age, right?
Ha 47. Listen, you'll be at that age one day.
Yeah.
You'll be at that age.
But you see, when you're at that age, because when I was your age, I thought 21 was old.
That's so old, nearly 50. Oh.
Oh dear.
It was swearing. Oh, swearing. All right. Let me have a look. What was it again?
Oh yeah. I know what it means.
Oh, okay. I've got.
It means my life.
Oh yeah. I can get it now.
Yeah. I had to think about it for a minute. I was like, yeah, of course, that's what it means. Yeah.
You better get a plan for your 50th. As you say, actual fact, what's your dad doing for your? Is your dad doing? You're doing Florida, aren't you, for your dad's 40th? Is that right? I'm 48, closest to 50, says Ray. Do you see how we're under attack, Ray? Just because we're at a certain age and a certain lifestyle. But yeah, do you know what? I don't feel it. But again, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel at this age. But it does funny actually, because when you reach a certain age, people say you're still into that. I mean, like I say, as we keep doing the Harry Potter things and stuff like that, people, you're still into that. And this is why
I've never had anyone say, "Am I still into Harry Potter?"
But this is why we always have the tagline: "You're never too old to have fun," because we are strong believers in that. It keeps you young, keeps you happy. But you never, ever, ever let anybody tell you you're too old to do something. If you enjoy doing it, you do it. The only exception would be if you're wearing clothes far, 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 far too young for you. But apart from that, you're never too old to have fun.
Definitely.
What's he
Sorry,
saying?
I was getting a
Nahar
bit
said, bro,
warm.
you're also, are we going to Orlando for? Oh, Nahar, that's cruel. That is mean. We're
What
going, bro, you're also old. But, you're going to Orlando for your dad's 40th. That's right. I remember you saying you're going to Orlando, Florida for your dad's 40th. So that you're going to, hopefully you have a really, really good time. We will pick your brains to see how it goes once you get there as well.
Yeah, and see how it is, see what you enjoyed and all of that type of stuff. I've been watching some videos and I'm thinking, oh yeah, you know, like things are changing because we haven't been there for a little while. I think we haven't been for 2-3 years.
Yeah, well, so the last time we went was 2019.
Yeah.
So and we haven't been abroad since. That's the last time we've been on holiday.
Yeah. So I think that'll be good for us, really.
No, exactly, and I think as well, just to get out of the country. Funny enough, I was chatting to a friend of mine today, and they're going to Turkey with he's going with his children as well, and he said that's the first time he's been abroad since the pandemic. So again, something to look forward to. I think we are now. So for those of you, we can mention this. So we were mentioning about Lanzarote, and basically sort of the Canary Islands and Spain in general. And I don't know if you knew this, but Spain will be removing the need to be double vaccinated very, very soon. So for anybody that is not double vaccinated, your chance to go abroad is starting to expand. Now, they are saying, though, you will need to report with a negative PCR test, regardless of whether you've been double vaccinated or not. But that will be open. Mark and Kelly, how's my thumbnail? Any advice? Now, funny you should say that, Sahinaz. I did notice you've changed your thumbnail because what you've done is you've actually changed it so you actually show the food. Funny enough.
I was just about to go on.
No, I've got it here.
Oh, have you?
Do you know what? On my tablet, because I was watching your videos earlier. See? Truth be told.
I see. Yeah.
So what Sahinaz has done, there we are, if you can just see, she's got them as, and I do like that as well. And what I do like is you've got your little avatar, so the picture of you in the bottom corner, mostly is in the left-hand corner.
Yeah.
But what I do like about it is just one picture of the dish.
Yeah.
Now,
it's to entice people. I feel like you can entice people to look at your.
That might work because we've noticed that actually when I've been experimenting with our thumbnails. So when we do our videos, when we've done when we've done buffets, we have noticed if you show the food itself, we'll get a lot more views than whether it's just a picture of one of us or just a thing.
I think people like to see like food, and when you see something that looks particularly delicious, you think, oh, do you know what? I might click on that and have a look. So I think, especially if the food looks quite appetizing.
Sahinaz Gandhi Chair.
Ah.
Did I pronounce that properly? And is that Hindu or Urdu?
Ooh, I don't know.
Just out of interest as well. I know a few lyrics to some Bollywood songs, but I'm not going to sing them. I'm not going to sing them because I'll embarrass myself.
Or maybe insult someone. I don't know.
No. I'm pretty confident I could do it. But what really? Yeah. Can you sing them? The only one I know, I'm not going to sing because I'm a terrible singer, but the one that goes Humko Hami Se Chararo. Dil Meh Kahin. How does it go? Yay! But that's more Mohabatan was the one I know as well. And another one is from Tal, the film. That's the only two I really know. But Mohabatan was, now you're too young, but in the 90s, that was a huge, I think it was 2000. It was maybe 1999, 2000. Whoa, Mark, you're right. You see, I got it right. So, but yeah, I do remember, I know bits from it as well, but under pressure, I would get it wrong. But I do remember there's a Humko Hami Se Chararo Dil Meh Kahin. So I do remember that part of it. So I'm going to see now if Nahar's now going to change her opinion on me and see if she's impressed. Well, what you? But there you go. So I do remember that one, and there's a couple of other ones as well that I've seen. There you go.
Wow.
There you go. Do your stunned silence look?
I don't know what to say.
I don't. But you see, Sahina says I'm right. Maybe my mum has heard of them.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, I think she probably would have done. But I'm not going to ask her. You're not going to waste her time.
Well, because it was back in the 90s, so yeah, it's feasible that your mum would know.
I don't know any of the later ones though as well. But I was do you know what though? What did make me laugh? Because I couldn't believe they were going to apparently. So again, Nihal, you're too young, but for our other viewers as well, there's Sylvester Stallone played a very, very famous. My mum was 14 in 2000. Oh my gosh. What was I going to say? There's a very famous character Sylvester Stallone played called Rambo, and Bollywood are going to make a version of Rambo, but a serious one, not a musical. So I forget the actor's name, but he is in it, and he is going to play the version of Rambo.
My parents, well, not so much my mum, but my dad had a lot of Indian friends, and so I saw a lot of Indian musical films. I don't remember any of them because there weren't ones that we replayed.
Is it Shah Rukh Khan? I don't know if I pronounced that properly. Actually, come on, no, I'll tell you who it is. I'll tell you who it is. You carry on.
Oh, okay. So we were like really busy over the weekend. So I had my bestie over because it was her birthday. I did a little bit of filming on TikTok, so you'll probably see it on TikTok. I mentioned this on Saturday. I mentioned this on the Friday live anyway. So it's her birthday on the Thursday. She went home on the Friday, and then I spoke to my nephew, and he was revising. I think he was driving himself crazy with all the revision. And I said, "Oh no, just come round and all of these." And the next thing you know, he came round and he stayed over, and then I was just like, "Oh my god!" So we'd already changed the bedding on the bed, so it was all nice and fresh. And then he decided to stay because I said, "I'll stay if you want to." So he stayed over. Then we took him home, and then my cousin came round with his nephews.
So we had a real busy thing. Sorry, it was Tiger Shroff. Tiger Shroff is playing Rambo in the new movie. There you go.
So so it was a crazy weekend because then my cousin came with his son. So they're younger though. They are 4 and 7, 3 and 7, 3 and 7, 4 and 7. They're like running around in the garden all barefoot. And I said, "You don't want to put your socks on? You don't want to?" But no, I don't want to put my socks on my shoes. So they're all running around in the garden with no shoes. It's so funny. The older one had his haircut. Really handsome haircut, I thought. I really liked it.
I might even do it the same way as me.
Please.
I know. It suits a 7-year-old. I don't think it'll be a 47-year-old.
And they were having so much fun, and I made cocktails. So I made pina coladas all weekend, actually. I made a couple for me and Evelyn, and then I made a couple for me and Stefano, who's my cousin who came over. Because his wife had gone on a spa day. So he was in the area and he said, "Oh, do you know what? Shall we come see you?" And I goes, "Yeah, sure, come on." So we had a really busy weekend filled with food and
so it was really, really
visitors.
Nice. I've got to go revise now. Good luck, Nahar.
Good luck. Take care. Don't work too hard.
Yes, exactly.
Work hard, but not too hard.
And don't fall asleep on your study books.
Yeah, exactly.
There you are.
So it was a really good weekend, just a really super busy one. That was that really.
So I'm doing science. Photosynthesis today.
Oh, right. My nephew's doing triple science apparently. I was just like, oh, but he's very good. Science comes naturally to him and to his brother, so they're both high on the sciences. So
study of photosynthesis and the plants. Same.
Yeah. They're both of them. Both prefects. And both were prefects. The other one's prefect at the moment.
Good luck.
Bye.
So today, like I said, so Kelly will be doing a lot of baking. We'll have to look at some of Sahina's recipes, but we'll be doing a lot of baking for next weekend because.
Well, I did baking anyway. These couple weekends.
Yeah, that's true.
So what I did, so it was my aunts and my aunt who's my godmother and my bestie. Their birthdays are on the same day. So I baked 2 cakes. So I baked my aunts. They like the cherry almond cake that I do. So I did a cherry almond cake for them. But Evelyn wanted a chocolate cake. Now, my chocolate cakes are normally quite good, but this chocolate cake that I made, so normally when I make a chocolate cake, the recipes that I follow have melted chocolate bars in them. But this one was made with cocoa powder. And the problem with cocoa powder, now I've tried a cake twice with cocoa powder. One, I made a liquor, and the other one is just straight cocoa powder. But what I find is they're not as good as the ones that actually have chocolate in them.
I could have told you that.
So now, go and write to Nigella and let her know. Yeah.
Well, do you know what it is? I think
I could have told you that. Tell Nigella.
Evelyn, if it is on there, will she? Oh, I don't know. I'd be a bit cruel. I don't think she'd say. But did you enjoy it? Now, I was going to say, Kelly has made, now it's not a dissing at Kelly's cakes, but Kelly has made them with chocolate bars in them.
Yeah.
So actually melted chocolate. And this is the first time you've used cocoa powder.
Well, one was I had to do a chocolate liquor. That was one. And I didn't think that tasted. In fact, when I did the one with the chocolate liquor, it didn't rise at all. So I had two. So what I did with one, I made cake. I made a cake jar with one.
Yeah.
And then with the other one, I put it on top of a pineapple upside down cake, and then I decorated it. It worked out really, really well. Now with this one, I didn't have to do the liquor. I just did it with cocoa powder.
Oh, Ray says still sounds delicious to me. Do you know what though? It wasn't Kelly's best one for me, and that's not dissing. Kelly does make very, very good cakes. The trouble is, I always find, and this isn't a diss on yours, but I find if you use cocoa powder, it makes the cake taste a bit cheap.
The thing is, and I didn't use cheap chocolate because I used green and blacks.
I know, but also as well because you use proper. So Kelly always uses, butter. She doesn't use marge. She always use flour. Oh, obviously you flour, but so fresh ingredients.
Yeah,
no artificial things in there at all.
And I try to use the best ingredients, kind of thing. So wow, it's really raining out there. It almost looks like hailstones. Can you hear it?
You might hear the little tapping on there.
Is the mic picking it up?
There we are.
Wow.
You can hear that coming through.
So, so it was just a little bit disappointing with the cocoa powder, because I was hoping to for it to be a bit fudgy, because the actual ganache that I used, that was fudgy, that was delicious. Mark polished that off, the thick scrapings of it, and then because it had sour cream in it, because obviously, I say obviously, it's not obvious, but when you use sour cream in a chocolate cake, it makes it more moist, it makes it really nice. But the problem was it was in the cake and it was in the buttercream. So I had to refrigerate it, because if something has cream or buttercream in it, it has to be refrigerated. And so then when you took it out of the fridge, and don't get me wrong, I took it out a couple of hours before I had to serve it, but it sort of stayed, so it wasn't that delicious. It had changed the composition of the cake, is what I'm trying to say.
Works out to be very expensive to make a cake, says Ray.
Yeah, it does.
Well, you know what? Now blocks of butter are expensive, and then the sugar is expensive. Yeah, so it is. But it was. I've got to say, it's really nice. My favourite cake that you do is the cherry and almond. So Kelly does this really nice cherry almond cake, which is obviously a combo between the two, but it's really, really good. I do love that cake. Yeah, that is really nice cake.
So one, I'm sure I will have to make. But yeah, a lot of the family, they do like the cherry and almond one. I think when I do the cherry and almond one, especially my family come from Mauritius, which I've said before, they have like a wedding cake, which is like fruit cake with almonds, and so I think it reminds them of that cake. So whenever I make that, they really enjoy it. However, my mum changes her mind with each cake that I make. So
I like that one. No, that's my favorite. Basically, the favorite is whatever Kelly's making, so she can get sliced.
So basically, no, she has favorites.
I'm joking.
That's
my favorite. What you're baking there? What you baking? I don't know, but it's my favorite.
So basically, for one of her birthdays during lockdown, this was, she wanted I baked a chocolate Guinness cake, right? Because I really like chocolate Guinness cake, but you can only have a slice, right? Because it's so chocolatey and it's so dense. You can only have a slice. And I really like chocolate Guinness cake. And one day a guy made a chocolate Guinness cupcakes, and he said it was a Nigella recipe. So I had a look at Nigella's, but she made one big cake. So clearly he just made cupcakes from them. But it's so delicious, and I'm telling you, that recipe was so good. And my mum only saw, she didn't even try it. She just saw it. And I said, oh, mum, do you want to try it first? No, I want you to bake me that for my birthday, because my mum is really into chocolate. She really loves chocolate. So I baked 2 because I knew my aunt is not that much into chocolate. So I baked 2 cakes. So I baked her birthday cake, which I decorated, which was the Guinness cake. And then I baked a lemon and white chocolate cake, a lemon drizzle white chocolate cake. And I brought them both to my mum, but the main one was the chocolate one. And she had a piece, and my aunt had a piece, and my aunt liked the chocolate Guinness one, and then my mum liked the lemon white chocolate drizzle. So anytime I baked a cake, that's what she wanted. She wanted the lemon drizzle cake. And then I baked the cherry and almond, and then she liked so if I baked any other cake, she would be disappointed that I hadn't baked the cherry almond, and the same with the lemon. Then I baked the pineapple upside down cake. Now that is her favorite cake. She likes it more than the other cakes. And then so those are the 3 of my cakes that she really likes.
Ray said, I love cherries and almonds, and I will be looking for that one too. It sounds delicious. So the one with the chocolate Guinness cake in, of course, because it's got all the sort of malt in it. Is it malt? I think, what would you describe it as? Of course, it adds to the flavour, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The chocolate cake.
Yeah, you can't taste the Guinness at all. It's very little Guinness that you use in it.
But it's just to add that little bit of not a kick, but just that.
It just makes it very sticky. It's a very sticky cake, and it's very dense. It's heavy.
I love that about a cake though. If you've got a really sticky cake, that's just so nice.
Yeah.
Always sticky. The drier cakes are not for me, but I've got to say that sticky cake is something else.
Yeah, Evelyn doesn't like the crumbly cakes. So something like cherry almond, it wouldn't be really Evelyn's cup of tea. Those are the sort of like crumbly type cakes. And but yeah, the family seem to love the cherry almond. And if you ever do make the cherry almond cake, Ray, you can make an amaretti icing. So you can mix a bit of Disaronno or something like that in the, like, I will do the cherry almond, but I'll make a buttercream cream cheese frosting. And one time I added amaretto in there. It was really tasty.
Boozing cakes, why not?
Not too much, but just enough to enhance the flavour. If I was going to make a cheesecake, like a white chocolate, I would add Disaronno in it, but not it. I wouldn't add it so much so that you can actually taste the amaretto, just to actually enhance the cheesecake.
Now, moving on from cakes, we're going to talk a little bit about cocktails. Now, you may have remembered last time we spoke, we said there's 2 new Haagen-Dazs flavours, which were going to be our recommendation of the week. And it turns out so that Madame has now tried it and has it as a recommendation of the week.
Yeah, I haven't actually tried it as an ice cream, I've got to be honest.
But no, that's what I was going to come on to say. Now, tell them how you've incorporated. I'm going to go get it so you can see what it looks like. Tell them how you've incorporated it and what you used it for. I've kind of given the game away, but here we go.
Okay, so I wanted to make a pina colada cocktail. So what I did was in the my mind's gone. Marks and Spencer's do a non-alcoholic pina colada drink, and I've always got the 2 staple drinks that I have in my cupboard will always be Disaronno and Malibu. We don't drink a lot, but people get them for me as gifts, and they're pretty much in the cupboard all the time. And I don't drink in the house. The only time that I drink in the house is if people are coming round and we want a couple of drinks, then the cupboard's already stocked. Or if people bring, that's the only time I drink really. I do drink sometimes when I go out, but not that often. I'm more teetotal, if anything. I'm not really that big a drinker. I never really have been. I've probably been drunk about 3 times 4 times in throughout my life, so I'm not that big a drinker.
4 times in a week.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. So, guys, this is what it looks like. So, this is the new recommendation pina colada. So, it's pineapple, and it has got rum in there.
Yeah.
Let me just check the
Yeah,
ingredients.
it has got rum in there. It says it on the front.
Yeah, rum 1.5%. Is it 15 or 1.5? It's got to be 1.5. Yeah, I was going to say 15%. That'd be whoa. So 1.5%. So not much, but it does have rum in there. So there's 2 versions of this. You've got the 2 new flavors. They've got is pina colada
And mojito.
and the mojito flavor as well. So you can use those. But Kelly added that to your.
Well, let me tell the
I thought-
recipe.
what are
I
you doing?
haven't finished yet,
Go
so
on.
you.
I'll demo this while you're doing it.
So yeah, so they've seen it now. You can put it back in the freezer before it melts. So basically, so on the first time that I did the drink, I did a bit of Malibu and a bit of the drink, and I added some of the ice cream. Did I add some of the ice cream? No, I don't think I did. No, I didn't add any of the ice cream. What did I add in there then? Bit of ice. So I did ice, the drink, and the Malibu, and I blended that in a blender, and that's what we had. Then, when my cousin came, I incorporated the ice cream, the non-alcoholic pina colada, and some Malibu, and I blended that up, and it was a right treat. It was so delicious, and you could actually taste bits of the coconut in there, because in that in the Haagen-Dazs pop, there's actually bits of coconut. Now, if you do decide to blend it in with a drink, it can get a little bit stuck in your throat, the little bits of coconut, so be mindful of that. But yeah, that's
Have you told them yet?
Yeah.
Right, okay, there you go. So it went into the cocktail. So Kelly did try it, but that's a recommendation of the week.
Yeah, it was so delicious.
Try if you are into pina colada. You really liked it, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I also blended in. I knew there was an ingredient. Frozen pineapple. So to keep the drink cold, obviously with the ice, but because sometimes ice can water down your drinks. So I put in a bit of frozen pineapple. But do you know what? I've been trying to get frozen pineapple, and I can't get any frozen pineapple anywhere. So we've got a delivery coming in the next.
Oh, Riri said, "Oh my god, my favorite! What, pina colada or the Haagen-Dazs one?" Yeah, that's Kelly's favorite cocktail. Pina colada is Kelly's favorite cocktail. So if you're doing that, little tip for you. What was your recipe again? Just to summarize.
So I had I've got one of those long cocktail glasses, and in it, so basically in my blender, I put the ice, frozen pineapple, Malibu, and the non-alcoholic pina colada drink. That was the first one, and then the second one I added those 4 ingredients plus the ice cream, the pina colada ice cream. And that went down really well. It was really, really good.
There you go. Chef's kiss for that one.
Yeah. You didn't even try. You go, chef's kiss.
No, I did.
But it was delicious.
There you are. There you go.
Yeah,
so
it was
for
delicious.
you, your chef's kiss.
And Stefano really, he tasted it, goes, oh, that's nice. That's nice. But yeah, it was nice.
Yes, favourite cocktail I make to them to delicious. And now, Ray, have you got a recipe for pina colada? Is there one you'd be willing to share in terms of doing those cocktails, if you're into doing the cocktails, that is?
Yeah, because normally if I'm doing Pims, so if we have a barbecue, we normally do Pims. So I do sort of like a Pims on tap, and I normally put frozen fruit in there. So there is a little bit of ice that goes in, but it's mainly frozen fruit, so it doesn't water down the Pims.
Yeah, so that's a little tip for us that we do. So when we do barbecues, we used to make like a jug of Pims or a jug of drink, and we used to add ice cubes in there. Now, when you get to the bottom, then that becomes really, really weak. So what we've done now is that we tend to buy frozen fruit, put that in, it adds to the flavour. Obviously, you'd have to have a fruity drink. It's not going to work in something like milk, but if you do that as well, it keeps the drink cold. But also, as well, you don't get all that water coming through. You get a little bit, obviously, because there's some in the frozen ice. But if you're using frozen fruit instead of ice cubes, it keeps it colder for longer.
Yeah,
and it doesn't affect the favour in terms of it watering down.
And then obviously you can eat the fruit at the end.
Oh, and just like that, Ray has shared her recipe.
Oh.
It's mine is white rum,
Mm-hmm.
pineapple juice,
Yeah.
coconut milk,
Yeah.
and ice and blend.
Yeah. So that would be
the classic.
yeah. Because I've got coconut milk, but you know what I want? I actually want coconut cream. In the States they use Coco Lopez.
Oh.
But we don't have like a
that sounds like a singer.
Coco Lopez. But we don't actually have a proper. You can buy blocks, I suppose, and things like that. We do. I've got one in the cupboard that's actually a block, and I did try to use it before, but it's not as good as what I've done this weekend.
Okay.
So the way that I do it this weekend with or if you can get hold of pineapple ice cream, that's equally as good, and you get that nice creamy thickness. But it was like a slushy, which is what I was aiming for, like a nice slushy drink.
Oh, we do like a good slushy drink. We did spot that actually when we went out into our local town. So there's like a gadget shop there, and they've got, so I don't know if anybody remembers, I'm showing my age now, but they still do them now, are slushy drinks. So they tended to be, or they still do, in those sort of big square little containers, and you see the slushy thing going round and round and round. It's either bright blue or bright red. You can now buy a little machine called the slushy machine, which is basically just a blender, really, just to crush the ice and the flavors you get with it. Oh, I'll be trying that ice cream.
Yeah, definitely. Try it in your next cocktail as well. So your recipe that you've got there, add the ice cream as well.
Just be wary though, these ice creams are limited edition.
Yeah, they are limited edition.
I don't know how long they'll be for. I'm hoping they'll be for the whole of the summer. But it was a dog. But we cannot guarantee that. So just try and get overstock if you can.
Yeah.
But just to keep it, because the problem is I always find that in the UK, there's so limited the flavors. When we went to the States, I've banged on about this so many times. But you're when we go to the supermarket, think, oh wow, they've got about 4 or 5 times the amount that we would have in the UK. Flavors I'd never heard of. So it's definitely. What was you had pineapple and coconut ice cream, didn't you?
Yeah, pineapple and coconut ice cream.
Blueberry, there's coffee.
Yeah, years ago they actually had a Malibu and pineapple ice cream, which they brought out the same time as they brought Baileys, and I've mentioned this before. But they kept the Baileys, but they didn't keep the pineapple.
Oh, okay.
I think the problem with pineapple and Malibu or pina colada or whatever, it's a very old style drink. It's a very old drink. It's very much like Black Forest Gatto, which was very popular in the 70s. And I don't know when pina colada came into being, whether it could have been 50s, 60s or 70s. I'm not sure when, so don't quote me on when. But it's one of those drinks that was way back when, which is why it's not. You will get them on a lot of cocktail lists, but not. Yeah. You'll get more daiquiri than you will get pina colada. True. To be fair, so and they don't always do strawberry daiquiri. They might do watermelon daiquiri or another type of daiquiri. But when we were in Florida, they did a watermelon colada. Yeah, and I really enjoyed that.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Yeah,
really enjoyed that watermelon colada.
This was in one of the parks, so Kenny would go, "Oh, can you get me go and get me a watermelon colada?" So it was like I said, rather than pina colada, this would be watermelon colada. Yeah, you enjoyed that one as well. But again, I've never seen that in the UK. They may sell it somewhere, I don't know. But yes, I was gonna.
Yeah, you can. Well, basically, what it is a rum and a fruit. That's why they call it and it's normally blended with coconut cream, which is what I think is the coconut cream that makes it the colada. And so they did. So when we were at Hollywood Studios, and then we went and they did margarita ones, but I didn't like the margarita, and it was so strong. I'm not into drinks that are so strong that when you taste it, it's bitter. I don't like that. I like to enjoy the smoothness of the drink. So I don't want it too strong. I want it to complement the drink. I'm not into that. So like when you're just drinking it and you think, and I like it when it's delicious. That's what I like.
We all like it when it's delicious.
Yeah. Oh no, Evelyn likes it when it's strong. She likes her Tom Collins or her what's the Long Island iced
Oh,
tea?
God,
And
that
I'm like,
really-
oh my, I was
there's
like,
about 7 shots in
yeah,
there.
7 different shots in there, and it's just like, oh no, that's not for me.
There you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's our thing for cocktails. So we've gone through the cakes, we've gone through the cocktails. Next on the baking.
So I think I'm not sure what I'm gonna bake, but I think I do want to try the Jubilee, the Platinum Jubilee pudding.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just get all the components. I'm not gonna worry about I need to bake this from scratch and bake that from scratch, because I may bake a couple of cakes.
And as Ray said, it's easy to get drunk when it tastes nice. That is so
true. So true. And I went somewhere once though, and I was drinking amaretto. I love Disaronno and Red Bull. Are so delicious. It tastes of cherries and almonds, and especially when you smell it, it's really nice.
Well, that would be right Ray Street, because she said I love cherries and almonds.
Yeah, if you love cherries and almonds, try Disaronno and Red Bull. And I must have had about 7 in it. We went to some dinner party or something. It was a work thing. I must have had about, well, not 7, but I had doubles. And I must have had about 3 or 4 doubles. I was not drunk at all. So I don't know if they were using non-alcoholic ones that tasted like it, maybe. But Red Bull's such a strong flavour as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, how, because I would have been drunk. I would have been drunk after 5 at least. And another one that I like, I don't mind vodka and Red Bull, but it tends to not really agree with me. So I'm not sure. I don't know if it's the brown liquors that don't agree with me or the white liquors that don't agree with me. I'll have to, because there's one type of alcohol that doesn't really agree with me, and I can't remember which one it is. But I like things like peach schnapps and lemonade, and the things that just you think, I could drink this. It's like, you know what I am going to make this weekend? Barnum and Bailey's. Now,
what's Barnum and Bailey's?
Barnum and Bailey's cocktail is creme de menthe. What do you call it? Vanilla ice cream and Oreo cookies, and it tastes so delicious.
See, this
so good.
Cocktails are not really my thing, so this is more your Kelly's area. But creme de menthe is just,
it's one of those old again, one of those old type drinks. So I think the 2 cocktails that I may make will be those 2 cocktails. Will be will be
the creme de menthe,
the Barnum and Bailey's, and the pina coladas.
Creme de menthe is like liquid toothpaste. It's just so strong. Not for me. But you know what I mean? Isn't there a French drink, creme de menthe? It sounds French.
Yeah, it sounds French to me, creme de menthe. But yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go on and say something then.
No, I was just thinking about creme de menthe. Yeah, it is, and I was picturing the bottle, because before creme de menthe is very difficult to get hold of, because they don't sell it in shops and things like that.
Even just put Long Island iced tea. You usually go for the Long Island iced tea.
No, that's too bitter.
But the thing is, it's funny, whenever Evelyn has Long Island iced tea, she's always disappointed with it, because they never make it to her taste.
Or Tom Collins. Yeah, she likes Tom Collins or Long Island iced tea. And Alicia likes pink Moscato or strawberry daiquiri. And I like, pina colada, Malibu and pineapple.
If you like pina colada.
Disaronno and Red Bull.
So what are other people's favourite tipples? We've had the Long Island iced tea from Evelyn. We've gone for Ray's pina colada. Is anybody else into their cocktails? Is there anything you like to do? Or is there one you've discovered? Or is there anything as well that you've had such a bad experience with? Never again.
Tequila!
Oh,
I will never drink that again.
Oh, that's the problem with, if you ever do get ill on a certain alcohol, it's so difficult then to go back onto that, because that taste is repeated and repeated. I won't go into any more detail than that, but yes.
Yeah.
But there might be a cocktail that you've tried. One of the times I always find with cocktails is you're much more likely to experiment when you're on holiday.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember.
Evelyn says she loves some tequila.
Yeah, but you didn't get sick on it, but I did. And even if I smell it now, in fact, I haven't smelled it for a long time, so I don't know.
I think you'll be all right. If it's been many, many years, I think that's okay. But I think you can't for months and months afterwards. You just
Yeah,
won't touch it.
no, for me, it'd be years afterwards.
Well-
Like even now, I ate so many. So Bernard Matthews used to do these turkey, chicken things. I say turkey chicken. Turkey. They used to be in the shape
Same
of a
thing.
leg, and they were Bernard Matthews. Anyway, I think one day I must have eaten 4 of them, and I threw up, and I've never eaten them since.
Oh.
And I was very young. Very, very young.
Ray said, I got really drunk on Pernod.
Oh,
Black,
God.
and I never drank it again. The trouble is, these are really distinct flavors. Pernod.
Yeah,
is
that
got
aniseed.
Yeah, exactly. Such a strong aniseed flavor.
Yeah.
And that's it as well, because it's so unique. It's not something you could then mix with something else.
What's the black? Is the black Guinness, or is the black what you call it, like a Ribena, like a syrup, a Ribena syrup? Is that the black?
Because I think isn't snake bite. What's the one where you use blackcurrant and Guinness? There's one there.
Yeah, that's blackcurrant and Guinness.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, do you mean? Oh,
What's
I
it
don't know
called?
what it's called. No, I don't know what it's called.
Blackcurrant, and
So
Pernod.
blackcurrant, right? Yeah, and Pernod. Because Evelyn will do some drinks with Ribena and something, and she go, oh yeah, it takes the taste away. No, it doesn't. It's still strong. I'm thinking, I don't know what world Evelyn's living in. And I'm like, no, Eve, it's still strong. I can't drink just because I put Ribena. Yeah, but Ribena's sweet. It's sweet. No. It's still strong. But my palate is very weak anyway. I'm not really one. I would have to put something with Red Bull, because Red Bull's such a strong taste that when you mix it, especially when you mix it with amaretto or vodka, then it's fine for me. I can drink it.
Yeah, I was going to say, because they don't always do mixes. That was a Frankie Boyle joke, wasn't it? He said an Englishman went into a bar in Scotland and he said to the barkeeper, can I have a lager and lime? And the barkeeper said, we don't do cocktails.
Lager and lime.
Lager and lime. That's a real West Country thing. I see people have that. Lager
Is
and
it? What do they do spritz up there? Is that would you have somebody that would go and can I have a spritz?
Yeah, people would do. I think it's mainly though. I've noticed that in the pubs. It's mainly older men would order lager and lime, and it literally is. They just put lime cordial, like you would with a
lager.
squash, in the glass first, and then you top it up with lime.
The lager, yeah. I can't imagine how that would even change the taste of the lager.
It does. It makes it like a limey lager. It does make it. It gives it, because lime is a very strong taste. So if you add that to the thing, it does give it a lime taste. Ray said, my friend makes cheeky Vimto.
Cheeky Vimto.
What's the
cheeky part?
Is it vodka, whiskey, a little bit of no Pernod, obviously.
No Pernod. Because I remember there's another drink. Is it Sambuca? No, is it Sambuca that's got that aniseed taste? There's another drink that has. I think it might be Sambuca that has that aniseed taste. I'm not really into Sambuca either, to be quite honest. It really burns your chest as well when you do a shot of it. Is that just stays there for a minute?
No.
But I don't mind what you call it, Jaeger bombs. I don't mind the Jaeger bombs. I can do a few of those. But not. I don't like the Pernod and the Sambucas. Yeah, those aren't really my things. But I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't have that many drinks. I think in the family, a lot of people like the Koppelbergs and things like that. So when the sun's out, people are drinking a few Koppelbergs.
Your family do seem to enjoy their brandy. I've noticed.
That's the men.
I was going to say that disappears when we have our family.
Yeah, parties. the men do like the brandies, or cognacs, or the brown liquors basically. Yeah. The rums and all of that. Yeah, they tend, all the whiskies.
Yeah.
The whiskies, yeah. Some of them like the whiskies and stuff. Whiskey and Coke is a popular one. Jim Beam, and I don't know all my drinks, so if I'm getting it wrong. But yeah, Jim Beam. I think Jim Beam is a whiskey, right?
Well, we only really buy booze for parties, really, more than that. And also as well,
for other people. Yeah.
Well, this is it for other people, and we tend to get them when we go on holiday in duty free, because it's cheaper. We don't tend to go to a supermarket and get it.
Yeah, but also I think in the duty free, sometimes you get things there that you wouldn't get in a supermarket, in a normal supermarket. So if I can pick something up at duty free, which could be cheaper, or one that I can't get in the supermarket. That's what I tend to do.
Well, we're turning this into cocktail hour because Ray Ray's come up with some suggestions: blue WKD and ports.
Oh, really?
Wow, there you go. So blue, if you've just joined in, blue WKD and port is the idea there for a cocktail.
Wow. Never even heard of
We've
that.
gone with Long Island iced tea. We've had some Pernod and black currant.
Ooh.
And we've also looked at, what else did we look at? Oh, yeah, that's right. The different variety or different recipes to pina colada.
Pina colada.
So there you go. So I do like Ray Ray's thing of rum, pineapple juice, and coconut milk in order to blend that in as well. Kelly was saying as well, obviously for her recipe, she would then use the Haagen-Dazs pina colada, added that then to your pina colada drink from pre-made.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would leave out the coconut cream simply because I've done it before, but the drink tends to separate a little bit too. It looks a bit too cloudy. So what because I did that before with the coconut cream, with the coconut milk. But this time I didn't put the coconut milk in. I did, and I didn't. But this time the two things I didn't use. I didn't use the pineapple juice, and I didn't use the coconut milk. Because those were the two things that I used before. This time I used the pina colada, the non-alcoholic pina colada, the Malibu, and ice and the ice cream. That's what I did.
Any alcohol that's over 40%. But you say that though, a flatmate went, this is many years ago, went and bought something called Stro 80, which is 80%, and it was the most vile thing I'd ever drunk. It was so strong. It's designed obviously to get you drunk quick, but
even my taste buds are
going. Oh no, it was horrible. It was like it tasted so medicinal because it was just so strong. This is many years ago.
It medicinal. That sounds like your sparkling water. That's it. Every time Mark drinks it, there was one time I was really thirsty. I was so thirsty. Mark goes, "Oh, I've got my sparkling water," and I was just like, "Oh no." And I drank some of it, and it didn't even quench the thirst. It just tasted like Andrews.
It doesn't.
It does.
You've got no idea. Sparkling water, and I will die on this hill, is the ultimate water. That's what I say. If I drink bottled water, it's going to be sparkling, not that still stuff. The still is so boring.
Oh,
Mark, you should have added Ribena.
Yeah, at least the very least, add it to Ribena.
Kelly's the sort of person that should be in the middle of the desert or dying of thirst, and she came to a sparkling water and go, "Oh no, not that! I'm not drinking that."
It's not going to quench my thirst.
Oh dear! There's something else that is so. That is my favourite of the water. I make it sound like it's a connoisseur, an amazing drink. Yeah. It's not. It's just regular water. But
have you seen those waters though that cost like £100 and all of these?
What for water?
Yeah, they come from like. And they put it almost like it's in a champagne bottle, almost like in all of this. But it comes from.
Is this like Only Fools and Horses when you found the Peckham Spring?
But it comes from sort of like where where was it that the Titanic crashed?
Sunk.
Well, yeah, but it was hit by an iceberg, right? Yeah. So it crashed into an iceberg. Yes or no?
Into the Atlantic, you mean?
Yeah. Well, what was that part called where all the icebergs were?
Antarctic.
Right. It's somewhere there is where the water comes from.
So it's come all the way from the Antarctic. So how much?
£100.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I've got to say, if you can spend £100 on a bottle of water, you've got far too much money and time on your hands. Even no matter what the novelty factor is. Hey Kelly, did you change your top last evening?
I just took this one off. So I had this one on, and I just took it off because it was getting warm.
Rather than Kelly doing a Kim Kardashian and doing several costume changes in between our lives, we might get to that where she goes off and changes and comes back and changes.
Is that what she does?
Yeah, she do one awards ceremony where she changed 8 times. Well, I think it was her wedding or something that she changed 8 times.
Wow. Some people got time.
Me.
I'm just thinking, I want to enjoy the evening, let alone all this changing, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no.
Well, you'd have an entourage with you. I thought I was seeing things, she said. No, she has changed.
No, just changed my jumper. Because it was getting a bit warm, and I just thought, oh, do you know what? Let me just take off my jumper.
Mind you, having said that, with it, Kelly and I can not be extravagant like that. We wouldn't spend £100 on water, but
No.
we do like to do the novelty things and do the fun things.
Yeah, I mean, there are things that you will try. They're not. So when we do or try things, it's not something that we do all the time, every time, or whatever.
No.
But there are things that we might go and try, and especially things that might make a good video, or we think, oh, do you know what, we might like to film this or whatever. Or if I feel it's reasonable enough, like to upgrade or something like that, I will. But if it's just too much money, I can't justify, no matter how much I want to do it, and even if I've got the money, I just can't justify.
Do you know what? That's just like me. So I'm like that with food. I thought it actually affects my enjoyment of the food.
Yeah, it does for you. It doesn't for me.
It doesn't for Kelly, but it does for me. And I know not everybody's like that, but I've got a friend of mine who is exactly the same. He said to me, and this is just me all over, if the food is very expensive, I won't enjoy it because I'm eating it, even if somebody else were to pay for it, because I would just think to myself that what I could spend on this amount of money. So there was a guy I know, I won't say in case he is watching, but there's a guy I know as well. So him and his wife, for her birthday, they went to this place. Now it was they included wine tasting, and I think you had 5 or 6 courses, and in each course was wine. But the whole bill came to nearly £400.
Yeah.
Now I just couldn't. I just wouldn't do that just on principle, because well, to me, I would just think £400. That's a trip away. Rather than one meal.
But
I know that includes. Sorry, I was going to say. I know that includes sort of fine wines and stuff like that, and they had the wine tasting thing, on each course, and you have 5 different courses. But I think for £400.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from, but I think that different people will spend money on different things.
Yeah.
So they'll spend money on something that is. So if his wife really wanted to do this has been something that's. And some people have bucket list things. So if it was a bucket list, I don't know if it was for her.
No,
I don't know.
It wasn't a bucket list thing.
But how do you know? Have you spoken to her?
No. I spoke to him, and I said, "Is this a unique thing she wanted to do?" He said, "Well, she wanted to do it, but it wasn't something that she's always been dying to do." But I just thought. So I suppose back to you guys. Would the price affect your enjoyment of the meal, or is it just the meal you would go for? If it was an incredibly expensive meal, would you just think, oh, to hell with it, I'm just going to enjoy it? Or would it actually be the opposite? Would it actually increase your enjoyment of the meal? Because psychologically, you're thinking actually about this is really high expensive food. I'm really going to save it, and I'm really going to enjoy it. Because the reason why I say that as well, when I was looking at what's the name of the hypnotist that gets you to lose weight?
Oh, I forget his name. The one, Paul McKenna.
Paul McKenna says as well, so he does his diet, and he says you should eat what you want when you want, eat whatever you want as well. So you think, how am I going to lose weight on this? But he said the main thing you must focus on is eat consciously.
Yeah.
He said you must eat consciously. So he said when you eat, 9 out of 10 people just shovel it in just because they're on the go, and then they move off and do something else. He said you must eat consciously. So basically just eat, chew, and really savor the food. And he said his production crew, when he was writing this book, because obviously he'd film a lot of this as well, they followed it, and they said every meal they have is the nicest they've ever tasted, not just because of the food, but they were actually thinking about eating rather than just shoving in and thinking about something else.
Because he blindfolded a couple of them, so that all they could do was concentrate on the actual food. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't pay £400 to do a wine tasting in... Like, if you gave me a choice, say, oh, we could pay £400 here, or we could go away for £400.
But that's what you just proved my point.
I would go away for £400.
But all right, let's just say, going away aside, let's say somebody pays a meal for you. They said, look, I'm going to take you to the best restaurant of your choice. And you find out it's going to cost you £300 just for the meal. So a very expensive restaurant. Would that enhance your taste of the meal? So would you be there savoring it and thinking, I'm really going to enjoy this? Or would it put you off the food thinking, in my head, I could spend that £300 on something else. I'm really not enjoying this food. Or would it not affect your enjoyment of the meal?
It wouldn't affect any part of the meal. What would disappoint me is if they paid for the meal and when I ate it, it wasn't on point. I feel like then I would be like, oh God, that was just a waste of money.
But is that extra pressure? Well, this is what I'm saying. So kind of, it does put extra pressure. Yeah, even just said the same thing. So it would if it was expensive and the food isn't tasty.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not adverse to the. I am adverse to the thing. Like, to me, doing a wine tasting during a meal is not worth it to me because I'm not a wine drinker.
No, exactly. But
So that wouldn't interest me, right? But sometimes you can go to these. Sometimes restaurants are expensive because the name and famous people go there and all of that. I went somewhere recently. I was telling Evelyn about it, and the service was rubbish. The food wasn't even all that, and don't get me wrong though, the food wasn't like mega expensive, to be fair. It was above average price. I think I ended up paying £30, I think. And what I got, but it was £30 for one thing. So it was a drink and a main. So
Okay.
that was £30. So that is overpriced, I feel, for one meal. And it was only fish cakes, and I got a side order of fries and a drink. And that was £30.
Wow. Well, was it non-alcoholic drink?
It was a non-alcoholic drink.
Oh wow, that's expensive.
Yeah, so it was expensive. But not expensive to as some other places that I've been to, but that was expensive. And it was just a normal meal that I would have had in an average restaurant where it would have cost me £15.
So here's one to you then. If I was to say to you, would you? There's a restaurant that's just opened up. It serves the best food. Guaranteed. You will actually fall in love with this food. It's by the world's best chef, but it is £300. There's a starter, main, and dessert. You can ask her anything you want on this menu. It has everything that you love, but it will be cooked to perfection, absolute perfection. It's so good, but you have to pay £300 for the privilege.
Well, each?
Yes. All right.
Oh, no.
So hang on. Anyway, so, and that's open to you guys as well. Would you pay £300 each? But the meal was absolutely amazing. The world's best chef. They cook you a starter, main, and dessert. They'll cook it to perfection. You will never, ever get a better version of that food anywhere else. Would you be prepared to spend it as a one-off of £300?
No, which is what I said.
No.
It's £100 a course.
Yeah.
But no way.
You're paying for the skill of it, but you are guaranteed it is absolutely amazing.
No. For £100 a course. For £100 for a starter and £100 for a main and £100 for a dessert. No.
Only if I was rich, Eddie.
Yeah, exactly. Only if I was rich.
Now the reason I say that is because that is the price of in London a free Michelin star chef restaurant. So you will pay. So for example, the Fat Duck at Bray, I think they charge £250 per person, but I'm sure there's about £275.
What, Heston's restaurant?
Yes.
I wouldn't even go to Heston's restaurant.
But
his food doesn't even look good.
But that's what I'm saying. So the top ranked one, and I'm talking 3-star, 3 Michelin star. So top rated one, 3 Michelin star, 3 red knives and forks. I think that's the highest rated restaurant you could go. You would expect to pay in that region for that type of meal.
No.
Would you guys pay it as a one-off special if you knew the food was absolutely guaranteed on point?
There have been some restaurants that I've been to before, and other people have paid, or I've chipped in or whatever, and been disappointed. Like the food hasn't been like all that. So the simple fact that you would go to a Heston Blumenfeld restaurant and he wouldn't even be cooking it, is somebody else that would be cooking now. No.
Well, actually, he does on occasion. Actually, he does do cook on occasion.
On occasion, yeah. What's the likelihood on the occasion that you go, he'll be cooking? No.
So bear in mind, this is just theoretical.
I know,
but I'm just saying. So if you did want Heston, he would be there and he would cook in this occasion.
No,
I've got to say and that's what I'm saying. Now I've already said that for me as well. It does affect my enjoyment of the meal. If I see the prices and they're very expensive, no matter how good the food is, it would affect my enjoyment. But that is just me.
It wouldn't affect my enjoyment of the meal. I would just think, well, it's not worth it. It wouldn't affect if food is good, it's good. If food is bad, it's bad. If food is mediocre, it's mediocre. It wouldn't. The price of something isn't going to affect my taste. The only thing that will affect is whether I can afford to do it or not. That's the only thing that would affect. So if I had surplus amounts of money and I decided to go, yeah, I would go. But at this stage, working, well, not even working, but even if I was in a job at that stage, I know friends who have spent £1,500 just to be on a table because a famous person is going to be in the room, right? So I have friends that have paid £1,500. £1,500.
If you're watching, you know who you are.
Now, in my mind, right, because I know the food is not going to be that good, right? But just that there's been places where we've gone. In fact, it would have been for one of Evelyn's birthdays actually, where we got a table. I can't remember. Was that Elysium, if I remember correctly? And in order to have a table, there had to be a minimum spend in order to have that table. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was with Evelyn and her friends, so we reached the minimum spend. But yeah, that's the only place where I've been to that we had a table that you had to have a minimum spend and whatnot. But for my other friend, 1,500, I was so shocked. There's absolutely no way I would spend that kind of money.
Well, do you know what? To me, that is just madness. For £1,500 just to be on a table, just because somebody famous is on there. But that person, what irritates me with that is that person's rich anyway.
Yeah.
So why are they needing more money? They're in my eyes, all you're doing is taking somebody, the average Joe, and bleeding them out of the little money they have to make yourself even richer.
And the thing was, they're not even sitting on your table.
No, that's what I was going to say. They're just in the vicinity.
They're not even sitting on your table. It was one of them pool party. It was in Vegas, and I think it was Drake. And so Drake is sitting down. So you're just in a room with people after you've done spend your £1,500. And I just think to myself, like, yeah, you know what I think? I think, oh God, that could have gone towards my mortgage.
Well, this is what I'm saying. But it's not just that. But say you paid £1,500, and like I said, you said Drake, right? So Drake is over there. You're not going to go Drake. I paid £1,500. Drake
is Kelly from London.
Yeah. And at this poor Drake, he's going to be sitting there, just all right, yeah, okay, yeah. And then you're going to go. So you're not going to do that. You're just going to be sitting. We're going to just sit there and stare over there. Oh, look, there he is. Now what?
Yeah, you could have gone to a club and he could have been at the same club and you wouldn't have paid £1,500.
That's £1,500, please.
Yeah.
I mean, just for that, and you're not going to call it. And if you are going to call it, they're going to go, sir, madam, can you, leave? Or just, It
was just like, I mean, there was a Harry Potter event and it was meant to be a ball. And I think the tickets were something ridiculous, like £180. And I didn't even pay to go to that. I was just like, what? How much? £180 for a ball? No. And in the end, they had to cancel it because they didn't have the rights to be able to utilize the name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had to cancel it. And I'm sure that was the year before lockdown, actually. So I think it was like something like 2018, 2017, I think. And then they had to cancel it. And then they put it on the following year. But they didn't call it the Harry Potter ball. They called it something else. Something that was like sort of similar or akin to.
Oh, that's interesting. I think that's the thing. You end up. That's why the prices are so high, because they've got to pay such a premium for the name.
Oh, they were still high. Regardless, they weren't losing the name. It was still high. Because they thought they could ridiculous amount of money.
Off.
You wouldn't. The thing is, if you're charging £180, I'm assuming you have everything in place in order to be able to pay the royalties, right? That's why it cost £180. But they didn't have everything in place in order to pay for the royalties in the first place. So it was just like, imagine trying to set something and you haven't even got everything in place, and then you have to cancel it.
Oh, that I can imagine. I can strongly imagine people doing that as well, because they just see the pound sign. So once they set the tickets, the money starts coming in, but they need the money then to pay for the event. But that if you're ever in that situation, you shouldn't hold the event.
Yeah.
Because really, you should pay for everything first and then recoup your cash.
Well, no, but if you had gotten it, but the thing is, in order to be able to put on the bash in the first place, surely you need to find out that you can get a license first. Once you get your license, then if you want to sell your tickets and then purchase everything in order, that's fair enough. But you need the license first. You cannot put on something, get people's money, and still not have the license.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, with a lot of people, what they'll do, if you think about it, to hold an event, all you really need is the venue.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you need. So it's quite easy. You could hire a venue, and that'd be your minimal cost, and then you can then start getting ticket money in, and then depending on that, you can use that to offset for everything else, which is wrong because you should obviously have everything ready and set up.
Well, no, you can. There are certain things you can offset, right? Which is fair enough. So you want to offset food, you want to offset drinks, whatever is included in that ticket.
Yeah.
Is fair enough, right? But for £180, it better be bloody good food.
That is expensive.
It better be really good food for £180, and my drinks best be free all night.
But you know what? I've always found that whenever I buy something or look at the value of something, I do think now, what else could I do with that money? So, like with £180, you think, I could get this, I could get that, I could. So I do know what you're saying for a one-off event. And I know that makes me sound like a cheapskate, and maybe I am, but I do always think that when I weigh something up.
Back in the day, you used to be able to go to there were clubs about that you paid £20 and you had your drink or £25 and your drink and your food would be included in that £25. It wasn't the greatest of food, but £25, not too bad a price to pay for your free drinks and food all night. Now they want to charge some ridiculous. I mean, when you go to the Ned, right? So the last time we went to the Ned, I think we paid £65 each.
Yeah,
that's when we went to the Ned. Plus.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, there's me saying
plus gratuity. But for your £65, you had unlimited lobster and you had unlimited oysters.
Yeah, which I certainly made a full vouch of that.
Right, but if you went to a normal restaurant and you had oysters and you had lobster, it will cost you more than £65.
Well, yeah, I definitely ate more than 65 quid worth of lobster and oysters.
Right, so you ate more. But not only did they have lobster and oysters, they had poached salmon, they had normal salmon.
I had all of that.
They had smashed avocado on toast. So you're talking the higher end. Now, whether it's cooked to perfection or not is another matter, right? Because the salmon and everything, because the meat was a bit dry. So when I was having the beef or when I was having the pork and things like that, it was a bit dry. There were other things there that were better. I liked the potatoes and things like that. So them sort of things was better. A lot of the puddings were quite nice and everything else. There were certain elements that were better than other elements. But that's what you're paying for. You're paying for the lobster and you're paying for the oysters. If you go to any other restaurant and you order lobster and oysters, you're paying you're paying £65 or more. To be able to go to somewhere where you can have unlimited, that's different. For £65, you're thinking, right, now you're making your money, right? Now you're having your value, right? So 60. So what is that? 100 and what? Come on, accountant. £130.
What for what?
For both. So for two people, just over £130, right, including the 12.5% gratuity.
Something like
that. So £65 each, £130 plus your gratuity, whatever. But you've had your fill for that money. Now. Then you turn around and say, oh, actually, Heston Blumenfeld's and it's going to cost you £100 per course. No. And Heston Blumenfeld's food don't even look good.
Well, I think
don't even look appetizing.
Well, this is the thing as well. Of course, not only are you paying just for the food there, you're paying for the theatre, you're paying for the name. That adds on a huge because a lot of people will just go there just to boast they went there.
Even if Nigella or Gordon Ramsay or all three of them cook for me, I will still not pay £300.
But as Evelyn points out, rightly so, if there's some people where money is no object, it doesn't matter the cost of it. They will just go and they think, well, that's quite reasonable, £300 for a meal.
Do you know what? I would, if somebody else paid for me, I would go. But I wouldn't. I would be like, if the food wasn't on point, right? I'd be like £300. And the food wasn't even that good. That is what would annoy me if the food wasn't £300.
I know. Do you know what though? That is the other thing I've noticed. If the food isn't that expensive, you make allowances for it because you think, well,
Yeah.
it was only £20 to get in, and then it's all you can eat, and
Yeah.
all right, the food isn't that great, but I only paid 20 quid to get in there. So you do justify it that way, I suppose.
Yeah, like when you go on holiday and you pay in your hotel and your breakfast is free, and if you pay half board or if you pay all inclusive, but you already know the food is not going to be great, right? You already know.
Well, I don't know. I enjoyed where we went. Kelly hates it, but I enjoy it.
We went to Vic San Antonio, right? Hotel in Lanzarote.
Yeah.
And it's almost, I imagine it's like their version of school dinners, right? It's not that good. It's not on point. It's nothing.
It's
but
not
when
that
you go,
bad. She's over exaggerating.
it is that bad.
It's not that bad.
What
Evelyn, if you're still on, you're gonna have to settle this argument. You've had it.
Watch the video and then tell me what you think, because I actually video the food. So when you look at the food, let me know what you think, right? Now they do try, because they do themed, so to keep people interested, they do theme nights and all that. It goes on a week rotation. So if you're staying for 2 weeks, you will have the same food twice, because they'll do the theme nights. So they have like a Spanish night, they have like an Indian night, they have a Chinese night, and all of these. So they do it. They try to keep it interesting. But there was one time when we went and I just did breakfast only because I did not want to stay there for lunch or dinner because you could swap. So if you didn't want to have lunch, you could have dinner, and if you didn't want to have dinner, you could have lunch, so you could swap. But
so Ray, actual fact, Ray, I think I saw that same one. So Ray says, I watched a Tom Kerridge show on BBC Two, who's the West Country chef, and he was talking about opening a proper pub. Well, the cheapest main was chicken salad, which was £47.60. Too much for me in a pub. Do you know what? I think I saw the same thing. The way he justified it, he talked about his triple cooked chips. Now, his triple cooked chips were very expensive. They were very expensive for one small portion. And he said, the reason I charge that is, he said, you're paying for the skill of the chef. He said, I've got to, we put, I think they use, what do you call them? Like you get a melon baller,
right,
almost like that. So they actually plug each individual chip. Then they boil them in water. They put them in water to get all the starch out. Then they put them in the fridge and they boil them. Then they cool them and put them in the fridge. And he said, you're paying for all of that. And the wages of the chef. So this is how he justified paying £10-15 for a portion of chips.
Let me tell you, if anyone's had triple cooked chips out there, it ain't even all that.
Thank you, Evelyn.
It's not even nice.
So Evelyn agreed. It's not that bad, Kelly. It's not that bad. It's better than the food in the 5-star in Turkey.
Ah, right, yeah. Because so basically, my mum and Evelyn went on holiday, and when they were eating the food, they said, "Oh, Kelly would not like this. Kelly would not like this."
So this is Kelly all over. So if she doesn't like the food, when we all go down for breakfast, Kelly will drag her feet to go down because she doesn't want to go.
It's not that I just don't go. I let you lot go. I don't even bother dragging my feet. I just let them lot go, because it gets to a point where you're eating the same thing. I don't like to eat the same thing every day. That's my thing. I don't like so. Unless it would have to be the most delicious thing in the world, and even then, if it was, I would be so afraid eating it every day that I would get tired of it, that I wouldn't want to eat it.
I can do the same thing every day.
Mark can do the same thing every day, right? That's him all over. As he said, if it was expensive, it would put him off the food and all this type of stuff. Them things don't bother me. But what does bother me is having the same food. And when something is very cheap, this is the psychological thing of me, right? If something is very cheap, what type of cows are that? What type of eggs is that? What type of thing is that? Is it caged hens? Is it thing? All of that is right. Is that real pork? Is that real chicken? Is that real? And it's all of that goes in my mind. So then it puts me off, and I can't.
To be fair, that I can see, especially if you go to
it.
the United States, obviously, because they don't have EU regulations there. So
yeah,
they'll think nothing of having 20,000 chickens in tiny little cages to bring the eggs.
But yeah, not only that, but I think sometimes they think, oh, the tourists will eat anything.
No, but also you've got to bear in mind that, especially somewhere like Vegas, they don't want to lose that reputation. A poor buff or a cheap buffet, you'll go to if you're a bit hard up or you don't want to spend so much money. And like you say, you may have seen our reviews on some of the buffets that we've been to. The more pricier buffets, interestingly enough, so we went to Caesar's Palace, which is one of the most expensive ones on the strip, and in our opinion, it wasn't the best. The Wicked Spoon, which was cheaper by quite significantly, was better.
The thing about this is my problem with buffets.
How do you have a problem with buffets?
It's like a jack of all trades, but master of none. That's how I see a lot of buffets, right? Oh yeah, they quickly cook this, they quickly cook that, but they're not tasty.
Well, no, it depends where you go, and also high-end buffets.
That's different. That's different.
That's still a buffet.
Yeah, that's high-end buffet, but you're paying for something.
And to be fair, most buffets are to cater for people like me who just want quantity over quality.
Over quality, and I'm not that person, so they've got the wrong person in me, because when I get up, and sometimes you in the buffet you see food from the day before, on the breakfast, right? That's when Evelyn is saying it's not that bad, and in my mind I'm thinking, hang on a second, but that food was there last night, and now you're serving it to me this morning.
Oh yeah, I know, but that's slightly different. I think like champagne from the night before they'll put on there as well. There's nothing wrong with that.
They don't put champagne from the night before. They're opening it fresh there.
No, I think that's from the night before it opened.
Darling.
All right,
but
I'm
just saying because they put more champagne out once that champagne's finished.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying. But I don't like that. I don't like leftovers. I don't mind. I'll eat leftovers all the time, right? But what I don't like is I'm paying for leftovers.
But that's reducing food waste. That's what you're doing. So that for me doesn't bother me. But Kelly is a new on that one.
I don't mind cutting down on food waste. But what am I paying for that? Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
If I'm paying for something, I want it fresh, right? Because I'm paying for it. If you say to me, "Oh, then it should be free," because I already paid for it from the night before.
No, you can't do it like that. It doesn't work like that.
There you go. But you just said it's cutting down on food waste.
No, but also as well, if you look with most buffets, like classic example. So again, I keep using Vegas, but Vegas is pretty much every hotel down Las Vegas Strip has a buffet. So that's why I always use Vegas as an example, because every hotel, every pretty much restaurant down there, bar a few, one or two, is buffet. Now, what you do is when you go into buffet, it's not done on when the food is cooked. It's done on your time in the buffet. So if you were to go in the morning, you can wear your little armbands and you pay for the morning slot. But as soon as you leave, that's it then. If you wanted to come back and re-eat, you'll be paying. You'd have to pay in again. But it could be food from the morning or the afternoon that had been left there. But you couldn't say, well, I paid earlier and that food was there so I can have it. It's the slot you pick. So as soon as you leave, that's it. The order is, or the actual rules are, once you've left the buffet, and if you bought an all-day band, and I say band, so if you guys ever go to Vegas as well, I know a lot of you have done, they'll give you a little band, so a wristband that you wear. And sometimes you can buy what they call the all-day wristband. So essentially, you have that wristband as well. You pay for all day, so you can come in and out of the buffet whenever you want to.
I've never had a wristband for any buffet in Vegas.
No, but you've never done an all-day.
No, we did do one. We did do one that was an all-day, but we didn't get a wristband.
No, I got a wristband.
Oh, I didn't get a wristband.
I got a wristband.
But that's only once.
Yeah.
And that was when we went to the Excalibur. And then we bought an all-day one, and we could go and eat in the Luxor. Well. But what I realized, nothing about the food. What I realized is my appetite is not worth it to have an all-day buffet.
So for someone like Kelly would miss out. I mean, it's the first time I've ever done a all-day buffet. Basically, for 24 hours, once you buy this band, I think it's not even 24 hours. I think it's just for the day. So you really got it. It's only really worth it if you get it in the morning. You can go in and out of the buffet as many times as you like, all day. So pretty much, you could get something to eat, leave, come back. They won't stop you as many times. Now, the thing is as well, we had our fill in the morning. So come lunchtime, I'm still your stuff.
Yeah.
But in the evening, I thought, I could go for another. Now, I wouldn't normally, and it's not good for you, to have 2 buffets in the day, but I only did it because I bought this wristband. So I thought I should use it. But even then, to be honest with you, I only wanted a small amount of food because I'd just done a buffet in the morning. But
hang on a second. When we go to Lanzarote, you have 2 buffets every day.
the buffet.
You have a buffet in the morning.
Well, I know, but it's not good. It's not good.
And you have a buffet in the evening.
But the buffet, so when we went in the evening, you just didn't want it. I think you'd been sick to death of the food. Now, this particular one, so this is the Luxor and the Excalibur. The food is nice, but it's not up there. All right, I'll just say that. It's around about here in the middle.
It's all right.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
it's in the middle.
All right.
So, of course, the thing is though, if you're really, really stuffed and you go back there, really you get into that what I do, in that mindset. Actual fact, this is buffet, go for your life. But I've already gone for my life in the morning. So now my stomach's thinking, oh my God, you're doing another buffet. And then I just went food after food after food after food. And I think I did say to you, right, we need to take a break from buffets because this is not good for me.
I think you were at that point, because this was early on in our relationship, and Mark could eat a lot then. He can't eat a lot. I've worked on his appetite, so he can't eat as much as that now. But before, yes, you could, 100%. There was one, at one point, I was cooking in the morning and in the evening, and I was cooking enough for 6 people. And there's only the 2 of us, right? So then I said, no, this has got to stop. We were spending so much money on food. I said, no. No, I'm not cooking enough for 6 people morning and night. No, we don't even have a family. We're not even a family of 6.
You'd be surprised what I could put away. So for some of the buffets that we used to do, sorry, if you hear trucks going, I've got the window open. So you could be surprised what I could put away.
Yeah,
I can you not so much now.
No, not now.
But I really could in the past. I could put it away. I could do 4, maybe 5 plates in a buffet. And big plates in a buffet.
You was because of the amount I was cooking as well. He was starting to put on weight, and you became quite self-conscious of it. Blah blah blah. But when you're cooking enough, when you're eating for 6 people in the morning, and then you're eating for 6 people in the evening, what do you think is going to happen? So then I said no, and so then I cut down what we were having and all that. So we pretty much eat once a day, and then we might have some snacks.
Yeah,
like we might have like cheese and biscuits in the evening or something like that. But I mainly cook at lunchtime, and then I cook enough so that there's leftovers the next day. But in Mark's mind, I think he's thinking, oh, there's some of this, I'll have this. And then every time
leftovers, you say? What are they, you
and
say?
then by the time tomorrow comes, there's no leftovers. There's no leftovers. And so today I made risotto, and I had some steak. So I fried up my steak. And he said, oh, you've got risotto and steak. And I said, yes, but you had half a side of salmon yesterday, and you ate the whole side. Why didn't you eat half the side and then leave the other half so you can have it for today?
I was scared it would go off.
Yeah. So so when we go to buffets, especially ones that aren't not so much, they don't have to be high-end buffets, but just decent buffets. And there's not a decent, that wasn't a decent buffet in Vic San Antonio.
So going back to you guys, so we've rattled on about buffets. Where do you stand? Do you prefer your regular restaurant, or do you prefer a buffet? Is there something about, like I said, are you put off by a buffet purely because of the quality of the food, or do you like the fact that you can have a real good size standard meals? So for me, one of the things that always puts me off as well, because sometimes Kelly will take me to these restaurants that, you're just there, you'll ask for a plate, and out comes a plate, this tiny little thing in the middle, and
you have never been to anywhere that has done Nouvelle cuisine.
Not Nouvelle cuisine, but you know what I mean.
Or fine dining.
A small portion in the middle of the plate. So basically, that's what I think, and nothing irritates me more than when you're buying something as well, and it ends up being about 40, 50 quid, and I'm more hungry at the end of it than the beginning of it. That being said, we have gone to places where we have been buffet, all you can eat buffet, and the food has been terrible. And I think to myself, so there is that fine bit. But would that put you off? Are you guys into your buffets? Do you not? Or would you just go for a specific type of food? You're always going to go for the quality over the quantity? Or does it really just depend? I think for me as well, like I said, when Ray was just talking about the roast and stuff like that, for me, like I said, there's a good country pub like that will serve a decent sized portion anyway. But yeah, I was going to say, when you, I was thinking of that, was it Coates you took?
I think there's only been 2 restaurants that we've been to where Mark's, and to be fair, they were small portions.
Thank you.
They were, because he ordered 2 fish dishes. One was at SOS, and the other one was at
Oh God, yeah.
and the fish dish that did come out was very small. I've got to be honest, that was very small. However, those are the only two restaurants, right, that we've been to, and the portion, the main portion was small.
Ray said, I like a little bit of everything, so I order a few things. That's like Kelly, actually.
Yeah.
So Kelly would rather sometimes just order several starters than one main, so you can have that variety. But buffets can be very cheap food.
Yeah,
that's true.
I feel like I don't mind buffets. I don't mind going to them once in a while. Do you know what I mean? And so like if Mark was to say, oh, do you know what? Let's go to the Ned. And I wouldn't mind it. The meat is a bit dry there. But there are other things that you can have worth of £65, although it's gone up now. I think it's £75.
Yeah, it's expensive now.
But now you have to pay for
membership.
But this is what I'm saying, right? I wouldn't mind paying for membership, but let's, for argument's sake, say I wouldn't mind paying for membership. You should be able to get a discount on the fees, but you don't. So you're paying your whatever it is, 200 or 400 or whatever pounds it is to become a member, and you don't get a discount when you go to eat the food. I feel that is scandalous and a rip-off. That's about your £300.
Even said Meter Ray. So yeah, the same. Liked a little bit of everything. And I know Evelyn's the same actually.
Yeah.
She likes that small little smaller portions as well, but that little taste of everything.
Yeah, I'm very much like that. You know, if we go to a Chinese or whatever, and Chinese is a bit more reasonable, although Chinese these days are becoming a bit more expensive, I feel. But before, it used to be quite reasonable. You could pick a few dishes and all that, you all share and things like that. But I if now when I go to a buffet, unless we're like, because there's a buffet, Cosmos or whatever. So unless the family say, oh yeah, let's go Cosmos, because I'm not really a lover of Cosmos or JRC. I'm not a lover of them buffets.
I've got Cosmos,
but unless the family say, oh yeah, you know, we're going for so and so's birthday, and I think, oh, all right, then let's go. Then I will go. But other than that, I never go to these buffets because they're below par for me. And I'm not one. Don't get me wrong, because I like Nando's, I like McDonald's, I like KFC. So it's not about being snobby or anything like that. But what it is if I'm going to pay a certain amount of money, I want that person to be able to cook that food.
Yes.
To what is. So I don't like I said, jack of all trades and master of none, and that's how I feel about buffets. But when you go, the only buffet that I really enjoyed, buffet wise, was the Wicked Spoon in Vegas. That's the only buffet that we went to quite a few. There were some that were okay. Oh yeah, that's nice. But I've got to say, the Wicked Spoon in Vegas, and you can catch it on. We did a couple of vlogs on it. They're not as good as our vlogs now, in the sense filming wise, editing wise. They're not as good as what I think our vlogging has come on since then. It's not the food that they cook there is more. They have one person cooking the food for that station and another, and they concentrate on cooking the food for that station. And it's not, as soon as it goes down, that's when they put more on. So they're not like sitting there for hours and hours and hours until the next block come in, because as soon as they see it going down at a certain point, then they cook the fresh. And then sometimes it's not even ready. So you have to go away and come back, and then it's cooked fresh. And that's what I like. I don't like when I'm going somewhere and it's been sitting there forever in a day, and it's under the heat lamps. And then there's somebody there at the carving station ready to carve your, whatever it is that you want.
Hey, Richard. Hello.
Hey, Richard.
Greetings from my day finally over. Did the Elizabeth line? How was it? So for those of you who are probably familiar as well, Crossrail, which is now called the Elizabeth line, has opened 2 years late and £4 billion over budget. But it's finally open. Richard, how was it? Did you enjoy it? Did you have a good day?
Is it 2 years late? I don't think it was
I
2
think
years
it's
late.
2 years late. Richard will correct me if that's wrong, but I'm pretty sure. But it's definitely £4 billion over.
Yeah, £4
over
billion
budget.
pounds. Yeah, over budget.
But it
But I
did look
think-
good. So we were watching London Tonight, our local news station, and they did show bits of it. So it did look quite good.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's what you get for £4 billion extra.
Yeah. Richard also went to see the Pet Shop Boys. I only caught a little bit of the video, so I've not
West
seen
End girls,
the whole of the video. I was doing a couple of things, but I will look into that. It looks so much fun. And yeah, Richard was saying that he had some other tickets where he was stuck in the gods, and it was giving him a little bit of vertigo. So he spoke to a couple of the staff, and they said, oh, understandably, and then they took him down because it was a sold out concert. But then there was a couple of seats that were free, so he was able to go down and have those seats. And then halfway through the concert, or halfway towards the end, the people who see it was finally turned up, and I'm like, and so Richard said, oh no, sorry, we were put here by the staff. And Richard said that the couple were really nice about it, and I don't know where the couple they just stood, I think, and watched the rest of the concert.
Oh, so we've got Richard Harris has joined us. Hello, Richard. Thank you for joining.
Hey.
He said, Richard says quality. Richard Harris, this is quality over quantity. Chicago has some amazing deep dish and steak restaurants. Very high quality. Do you know what? I always think of that with Chicago when they do the deep pan pizzas.
Yeah.
Chicago town and stuff like that, so that you'd have the deep pan. But that sounds amazing, actually.
You love your pizza.
Oh, I love my pizza. I would love to try, and I do love American pizza. I've got to say that deep dish as well, especially. But I also really like the New York ones as well. That was really nice. New York slice. Really, they're cooking at that really high temperature, but that simple cheese and tomato, but it's really nice. Ray said the buffet place we went to had raw fish and meat for you to pass to the chef to cook for you. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Cooked on spot. Ashrabat Cosmos does do that.
Yeah, they do. You can choose. Yeah, you can. They have a little station where they do that.
Richard said I went as far as Abbey Wood and Heathrow. Oh my god, it was so quick. I meant lots of. Oh wow, ambassadors. Do you know what as well? I was going to say actually that would be good for my boss as well when they get from Heathrow, because they do say that it's supposed to be much faster. Charlie, hello. How are you? You good? Oh, 176 followers. Well done, Charlie.
Wow. Thank you. Well done.
Nice
yeah.
one. I like to see them do it. Richard said, hello both. Enjoyed your Toby restaurant video.
Oh,
good. Thank you, Richard.
Thank
That's
you.
Richard Harris, not Richard's Adventures. Thank you, Richard. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We are going to get out there and do a lot more review videos on restaurants. We're doing one at the moment.
Yeah, I normally need my glasses. That Mark's reading them to me because normally I would have my glasses on, but
yeah, I'll do the translating.
Yeah, so he's reading them to me.
Richard's Adventure said got a rare pin badge as well.
Oh wow,
that might be worth something. Might be worth you getting a couple.
To keep it. Yeah,
getting a couple, one for yourself that you can open and one keep in the package.
Because I think, is it open today? Yeah, 24th. It was today.
Yeah, it was today as well.
For some reason, I thought they had done a soft opening, but apparently not.
I was going to say actually as well, Richard, I hope you're doing that as a video as well, because I'll be looking forward to seeing that as well. And I can now see how your clues led up to today. Nice one. But yeah, so the opening of the Elizabeth Elizabeth line, which is now open as well. And can you get that from Farringdon?
Yes.
Yes, I thought
so.
Yeah,
you can. Because the gates were closed there for ages.
Oh, God,
They opened the gates and then they closed the gates. So it was really weird because the gates were open at one point and then they closed the gates. So, yeah, but it was late on opening.
Oh, good God, yeah.
I don't know if it was 2 years. I thought it was only a few months, but yeah, it was late on opening. So, yeah, but at least it's open now.
So do keep an eye out for Richard's. Hopefully Richard will be uploading that very soon. We will be uploading my Rosa Pomodora birthday celebration when Madame
Erin emailed a lovely person, Erin, and she said, oh, she really enjoyed our video, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm in the middle of doing the Rosa Pomodoro one, but still haven't done it.
Richard's Adventure said I had to point out some stations very, very high and people scared of heights will freak out, but lift helps, designed for everyone. Oh yeah, he's going to upload it after the live.
Oh, brilliant.
Evelyn said I was tempted to ride it, but it doesn't take me to work.
Oh.
I know, it kind of goes across, doesn't it?
but it's right near you and it takes you across London. Like someone was saying, oh yeah, you could get it to Whitechapel and things like that. And I'm thinking, imagine it's good connections really to get from one end of London to the other. Now they said they're spending money outside Manchester and Leeds, I think it was. They're starting to spend money on those lines as well.
Well, guys, I'm afraid. Oh, as that bike goes past, that's our signal. Richard, I'm going to go now. You all take care. Upload the time. Good luck, Richard. So we are going to leave it there purely because, as we mentioned earlier, Bake Off, the professionals, is on in just a moment. So we are going to watch that. We are big Bake Off fans of it, but we do like the professionals version, which is on Channel 4 now at 8 p.m.
I saw that the comedian guy is not in it. Liam's still hosting, but I saw his
what's his name? Tom?
Yeah, Tom. I see now that Stacey Solomon is doing a little bit of it, but I don't know if it might be a temporary thing or whether it's a permanent thing. So
well, we will find out. But that's it for this. Well, I was going to say this week. For today, Mark and Kelly's trip to and back, but we will be later.
Oh no, I don't think I'll be here. Oh no, I will be here on Friday.
We will be here on Friday.
I will be here on Friday.
Friday, 6 p.m. usual time for our end of weekend live. That's it for Mark Kelly's tips and things. Please do take care, look after yourselves, and remember, you're never too old to have fun. We will be back, as I say, Friday, 6 p.m. for our next live. Have a great week, and hopefully we will see you then. Till then, take care, look after yourselves, and we'll see you on Friday.
And if you do hear about any high-end buffets, let us know. Or better than mediocre buffets. I would definitely love to try those. Anyway, take care. You're never too old to have fun, as Mark says, and bye for now.
Bye.
Have a good rest of the week.